plus our technical specialist. You alone can get the job done, but you plus Graybar, that's smart business. Yep, Graybar does that.
Lifestyles Unlimited, the education and mentoring group with a roadmap and support to help you real estate retire.
Having the consulting team, having other avenues within your whole system is what's made y'all successful. Everyone is there to guide you to be successful. So it's just up to you to get off the butt and do it.
Do it. Take action today. Get educated now at Lifestyles Unlimited. Text the word radio to 88007. That's radio to 88007. Join for $297, a 60% savings. Lifestyles Unlimited. Text radio to 88007.
This is the Verizon Extra Innings Show. Verizon, the most reliable 5G in St. Louis.
One out to go. The shutout bid today, and there's a fly ball that goes into left field, and it is caught by Fermin for a Redbird winner. The Cardinals have swept the Guardians, winning on Friday 5-0, yesterday 9-6, and today 7-0.
Cardinals do win at 7-0. They shut out the Guardians here today. It's the Extra Innings Show. I'm Joe Pott. The Extra Innings Show is presented by Graybar. Graybar, your distributor for electrical and datacom needs. Another nice win for the Redbirds as they wrap up this series. They sweep this series. They dominate this series over the Guardians, which is what you expected, what you want, what you honestly had to have. If you're the Cardinals coming off the split against Chicago, you had to come in and really get off to a great start. I said yesterday, I said before the series, you have to expect to go 4-2 in the first 6 in this series or on this road trip. And they've done that. They've started off better than that with the sweep at Cleveland. I mentioned it the end of our network show. They outscored Cleveland 21-6, and those 6 runs came in a single inning for Cleveland. So they shut out Cleveland the rest of the way. 26 of 27 innings, they shut out Cleveland. If you want to get in, you can do so. 314-436-7900, 314-436-7900, or catch us on all of these socials at KMOX Sports, YouTube, Facebook, X. We are there. We are live. You can see us. We can see your comment. We will talk about your comment, and we will talk about all of the things that this team has done over the last 3 games, certainly. Let's talk about this Cleveland series. Let's talk about this Pittsburgh series coming up. Another one where you're facing a team that has struggled to score. You have a bullpen right now. If you are the Cardinals, Rick Horton made mention of this towards the end of the game, that start by Sonny Gray on Friday, yeah, it's great for your bullpen on Friday. It's better for your bullpen on Saturday and on Sunday because your bullpen has that extra day. Everybody gets to be lined up exactly the way you would like it as long as the offense works. The offense did work certainly today. Yesterday it did after a certain point, and it was because of that bullpen that you were able to get back into that game yesterday. So you're in a great spot right now if you are the Redbirds. And as, again, both John Rooney and Rick Horton mentioned, it's almost like they've got an off day tomorrow because you've got the rest of this day. You've got all of tomorrow before you play a night game tomorrow night. It's a 6:40 first pitch in Pittsburgh. It's a 5:40 Central Time first pitch. So plenty of time for whatever it is as a player they need to do to sort of reset and get ready for a new series. And it's a really good situation that the Cardinals are in. And then when you look ahead and you look all the way to the Chicago series, you realize this team has a legitimate shot of being 10 games over the 500 mark before you get to Chicago to face the division leading and your biggest rival, Chicago Cubs. And that was always sort of the benchmark that Tony La Russa used to give. Let's get to 10 games over, and then you take it from there. And then you see where you're at. Then you can consider yourself a contending team if you're 10 games over the 500 mark. And that is exactly where the Cardinals, most likely, that's where the Cardinals will be going to Chicago. Somebody on the line there for me? Okay, let's take our first caller. Go ahead. You're on KMOX on the Extra Innings Show.
Hi, Jeff from East Peoria, Illinois, home of the Last Egg Chiefs.
What's up, Jeff?
Doing great. I enjoyed the series. One quick little notation. What you think, my main topic is psychological. Since the Cardinals had a complete lousy start on the road, now they're at the 500 mark. Do you think that's going to be a psychological lifter for them? And also, going back to briefly on Friday's game, do you think how far in the future do you think in history Sonny Gray's history-making performance will be remembered?
Yeah, great questions, Jeff. So let's start first one first. Psychological lifter. I don't think there's any doubt. And I think that you've already heard that from this team. And you hear it in things like, we're never out of the game. We don't care what the score is. The approach is going to be the same. And so all of those things are things that we've already been hearing from this team. And now you look at a team, like you mentioned, what was it, 4-11 or something was the start on the road, something like that. Just dismal start on the road. Now they've gotten all the way back to 21-21. There is no question that this is a team now that's going to approach a game wherever it is with an enormous amount of confidence. And not that they weren't before, but it is, as you say, they know that, hey, look, we've overcome that terrible start that we had on the road. There was perhaps at one point there was that narrative that, well, they're fine, they can play at home, but they can't play on the road, and that's gone. And I think that's definitely that will definitely have a positive effect on this team, on the psychological side of this team, and on the confidence of this team. As for the start for Sonny Gray, I mean, it was a historically good start. I mean, that's just all there is to it. To throw just 89 pitches and to face one over the minimum, and you think about he was just a little bit away from perhaps if he throws what Pedro Pott has asked him to throw to Nolan Jones, maybe we're talking about a perfect game right there. But as it is a tremendous start. It really was the catalyst to what this series was for the Cards. And so, yes, I think that there's no question it is a fantastic start. And I think it'll be remembered, for a long time. It is that good of a start.
Definitely.
Appreciate the call, Jeff.
Go Redbirds.
Yep, you got it. Absolutely. Peoria checking in for us. We appreciate that. Brad Altus is on the comments on our stream, and he says, setting new benchmarks, a good chance for this team. And they are. They're achieving those things that we talked about. Now you're 9 games over. So now you look at, okay, when do we get double digits over? And that should come in this Pittsburgh series, because you should go into Pittsburgh expecting to win 2 out of 3. And frankly, you're disappointed if you don't win 2 out of 3. And now you're looking, now you want to get greedy and sweep the first 6 games of this series. I think there's no question that that's the approach that this team will have. And you're going to have Sonny Gray in this series, in the final game of this series. It's Fedde, Palante, and Gray. That's your rotation coming up here against the Pirates. You will face Paul Skeens. You're going to see Paul Skeens on Tuesday night, so it'll be Palante against Skeens. But the Cardinals have not really had an issue with facing Paul Skeens. They have fared quite well against Skeens. You're going to face Mitch Keller, who has just really fallen off. The ERA's fine. It's under 4, but he's 2-10 as a starter. So the record is terrible right now for Mitch Keller. And you've got Andrew Haney, a left-hander, tomorrow. Jeff brought up the sort of psychological lift you get from erasing that bad start on the road. What about the lift you get from just playing the last couple of games and facing the left-handers they did, including a left-hander today in Logan Allen that they hadn't previously seen, and they fared pretty well. Yeah, it took a 3-run home run, but doesn't matter. That's, again, something that you can sort of scratch off, right? They can't hit left-handers. They can't hit anybody they haven't seen. I'm not saying that they're not going to run into those troubles again, but you do have that sort of confidence moving forward, and that's, fares well for tomorrow against Andrew Haney. Jeffrey Hubbs checks in on our stream as well. Always take one game at a time. I don't think there's any question that this team is taking one game at a time. Yeah, I'm looking ahead at the series. I'm looking at that Pittsburgh series and thinking about 2 of 3 or a sweep. But I think this team is the epitome of one game at a time, and better than that, one at bat at a time, and maybe even one pitch at a time. And you've heard that over and over this year from the guys in that clubhouse, talking specifically about Brant Brown and what he's done to this team and the approach that he's brought to this team and the approach that they take at the plate. And that is one at bat at a time, one pitch at a time. Have a plan, stick to that plan, stick to that approach. And that approach has been obviously very, very good for this team at the plate. So, yeah, I can talk about a series at a time, and we can talk about a series at a time. And if you call in or you comment, we can. They can take it one game at a time. I don't have to take it one game at a time because I'm looking ahead, and I'm looking ahead to that July 4th series, and I'm excited about that July 4th series and the chance to get back up there to Wrigley Field. But I guarantee you they're taking it one game at a time. There's no question that that's the way that this team is going to approach it. But I think also they're humans, and so they know what they're looking at, and they know that in front of them is a 3-game series with a team that's not been very good. It's a team in your division that you should dominate, and that they have historically dominated. There's been some years in there, obviously, where that has not been the case, but I think for the most part they have. So they know that too. So yes, I think they'll take it one game at a time, but I think also they know what's in front of them, and they know the opportunity that is in front of them. If you want to get in, we've got a chance, 314-436-7900. Get in. Let's chat about this team, or get up on the socials at YouTube, on YouTube, on Facebook, on X. We're at CamoX Sports, and you can comment right there. Another very good day from the bullpen. As I mentioned, the bullpen obviously in very good shape after the long outing from Sonny Gray. Not taxed today. You get 1 inning each from Romero, O'Brien, and King, so they really were not taxed here this afternoon as well. If you take a look, JoJo Romero threw 12 pitches, Riley O'Brien a few more at 26, John King threw 22, but it is still not anything that these guys can't bounce back from. And quite honestly, if you use one of those 3 in a game tomorrow night, you've still got the rest of them in the series against Pittsburgh. So your bullpen's in really, really good shape going into this Pittsburgh series, and ultimately to finish out this road trip that then will take you to Wrigley Field as well. I think we'll have another caller on the line, and Mark is next. Mark, you're on the Extra Innings Show.
Yes, thanks for taking my call, and everything is looking up for the Cardinals, as a team. And, let's not forget, this is really relatively a young team. And of course, I think they have already, of course, the season is not over. There's a lot of baseball left, but they have already exceeded expectations. If you were a gambling man to say this time of the year, for a little bit over half of the season, that the St. Louis Cardinals, as we looking from day one, could be 9 games over 500. I think even the most optimistic would just have accepted it. So they're playing good ball in all phases of the game. My concern was really about the pitching, but when you can have starting pitcher to take you deep into the game, you can actually, like you said earlier, really get those relief pitchers in the way you want. But I want to just, as a point of caution, you're playing major league teams, and if nobody's noticed, even though the Pittsburgh Pirates are in the cellar, they just completing a sweep of the New York Mets, which was predicted to be one of the contenders, in the National League to even go to the World Series, but a sweep of the New York Mets. So right now, the Pirates are playing really good baseball, and their best pitcher didn't even pitch in this series against the Mets, and the games weren't even close. And obviously, the Pirates are hitting better now and feeling better, and I think they got pretty good team in terms of pitching. I'm not predicting that they're gonna, make a lot of noise in the Central Division, but you can see the progress of the Pittsburgh Pirates. So we don't want to get too ahead of ourselves. And you already said that would be the approach of the Cardinals. I like what I'm seeing. They're taking it one game at a time, actually 1 inning, 1 pitch at a time, and everything, and their focus. And please answer this question about this guy named Brown. What's his background in terms of the batting coach? Because I think he's given the Cardinals a better philosophy. Last year, I said they need to have a batting coach that really emphasized situational hitting, And I think we're seeing that, and we've seen the maturation of some of these young players, and so we should all be very optimistic about the Cardinals. Thank you for taking my call.
Hey, I appreciate it, Mark, and I'll address a couple of those things. I think first of all, you're right on about the Pirates. That is, they're up 10-1 right now against the Mets, and they have played really well. And I do think, as I said, folks like you and I, we can talk about looking ahead in that series and winning that series, and I still think that's the case, and I still think that you're disappointed if you don't go in there and win 2 out of 3. But you're right. They are a major league team, and they are playing some really good baseball, but I also go back to what I said, and that is just that this team is having that approach. And you mentioned that the team has that kind of approach. They seem to have an approach from pitch to pitch, from inning to inning, from game to game. And I think that is what has led to this success. You also talked about this team exceeding expectations, and I think that is what is maybe most fun about this entire season, is that a lot of folks did not expect this. I did not expect perhaps this team to be looking at maybe being 8, 9, 10 games over the 500 mark at the All-Star break, and realistically they can be. We'll see where that plays out in the next 10 days, but I think that's part of what makes this a lot of fun here with this team. Now, you ask about Brant Brown. Brant Brown was a player primarily for the Cubs. He had a 5-year big league career, 3 of those years, and really 4 of those years came in Chicago as a player. And you know, he was a fine hitter at the big leagues, nothing special. He hit about 250 in the big leagues. He hit 260 in his career with the Cubs. But I think that's really his background as a player in his first year as the hitting coach here with the Cards. And I think that the approach has been the biggest thing, and that's where the Cardinals have really where that's paid off. Tom is up next. Tom, you're on the Extra Innings Show.
Yes, sir. I have 2 parts. The first part is that caller before me was very astute. He's a very good baseball mind. Second of all, I'd like to give some props to John Mozeliak. He has got a club that is very exciting right now, one day at a time. They do the right thing constantly. I love the way the batting coach is working. I think right now, today, I would go and get a number 2 pitcher for this club. You put another number 2 pitcher in our rotation, and I think we've got a chance to be 20 games over. Thank you very much.
Tom, I appreciate the call, and I appreciate you giving the shout out to John Mozeliak. He does have a club that's playing. I said this, I don't know, a while ago. I feel like that is one of the things that was missing from the 23 and 24 teams. You weren't always seeing quality baseball. Now you're seeing not just winning baseball, you're seeing well-played baseball from guys that appear to be having fun, that appear to be enjoying the game, but above that, they are playing some really good baseball, solid baseball, making smart decisions, all of those things. I do not mind your suggestion at all of going to get a number 2 pitcher, right? Because I was thinking today, and a friend of mine, Chris, texted me and said, Liberatore and Gray in a 3-game series, yes, please. And I would second that. Those are 2 great pieces, but I would like one more as well. I think of that caliber, and I think that would help this team go a long way. One more before we take a break. Let's see if we can get Andy on. Andy, you are on the Extra Innings Show. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well. I had a bad stroke years back and kind of hard to understand, but I'll do my best. Okay. Well, I had a couple things. One thing, doesn't this team remind of the 80s?
This team, yeah. I think that's a good point. Reminds a lot of people of the 80s. And one of the things about those 80s teams, right, is it was good fundamental baseball, and we're seeing a lot of that.
The situational hitting, timely pitching, and some power.
You are exactly right. Andy, thanks for the call. He said situational hitting, some timely pitching, you get a little power. I think that this team has a lot of that mix, and it feels that way. You've even got a little bit of a running game now with Scott. You saw a double steal at one point today for the Cards, and something you don't see a lot. And it was at the time it was Fermin and Gorman on the bases, so not even maybe some of the guys that you would expect. So this team is doing a lot of those things that makes going to the ballpark and makes watching Cardinal baseball kind of what we have always enjoyed, right? Andy, thanks. I appreciate you giving us a call. We'll take a break here on the Extra Innings Show. We'll come back and see what other callers we have, what other comments we have, and we'll keep things going here as long as you would like us to keep things going. It's the Extra Innings Show at KMOX. We'll take a break. We'll come right back here on your home of the Cardinals, KMOX.
The trusted voice of St. Louis. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Bernie Miklas here for Saliga Heating and Cooling, a Daikin comfort dealer. The Saliga family's been taking great care of St. Louis since 1927 and still have the best and most trustworthy customer service in town. Saliga can handle all of your heating and air conditioning needs for home or business. They offer free estimates and financing options, and they won't leave you hanging if there's an emergency. The Miklas family's been calling on Saliga for more than 15 years, and we fully appreciate their knowledge, their class, and their integrity. Saliga's never tried to pressure us. They always take the time to discuss all the available options, including low-cost solutions. Saliga has saved us good money with their Priority Club maintenance program, which extends the life of our equipment. Members receive priority service and the peace of mind in knowing their home will be safe and comfortable during all 4 seasons. The Miklas family truly values Saliga Heating and Cooling, and you will too. For more information, call Saliga at 314-481-7333 or visit SaligaHeatingandCooling.com.
When you own a business, you know there's no shortage of bold moments. At VOS, we're here to help you meet those moments in stride. Whether it's reducing your exposure to check fraud, setting up direct deposit, or helping make credit card processing seamless, VOS is here for you, your employees, and your customers. Are you ready for a better banking experience? Then make the bold move and switch to VOS today. Visit bankwithvos.com. Member FDIC.
There's a big red barn where you save green. Norm's Bargain Barn. On discount windows, doors, and things. Norm's Bargain Barn.
Hi, I'm Norm Wilkie. Come see my new selection of Amish cabinetry made by my good Amish friends at Countrywood Products. We now stock 5 styles of cabinetry for you to choose from.
When you need to save on discount windows, doors, and cabinetry, come to Norm's Bargain Barn. With locations in Shiloh and Fenton at the bottom of Gravois Bluffs. Visit normsbargainbarn.com.
That's normsbargainbarn.com.
Now, back to the Verizon Extra Innings Show.
First and third. Allen's pitch. Gorman hits it a mile. Right center field. 3-0 Cardinals on Gunner. Nolan Gorman's 7th home run of the year, and he killed it.
It is the Extra Innings Show. It is presented by Gray Bar. Gray Bar, your distributor for electrical and datacom needs. Joe Pott with you here from our KMOX studios. We've got you on the socials as well. You can call in. I know we'll have a couple of more calls, 314-436-7900. I appreciate everybody that's called in already. Nathan on the stream says, are the Cubs or the Brewers a bigger threat in the division? It's a really good question. They're 2 different teams. I think the Cubs scare me a little bit more offensively. If you look at what the Cubs are that, there's that big slugging team. They're 4th in the league. They're 4th in the majors in OPS at 771. I think they're 3rd overall in home runs. They are with 124 home runs so far. So I think they're a little bit of a bigger threat offensively. And then you look at the Brewers, and the Brewers are not that kind of threat offensively, but I think the Brewers pitch it maybe a little better than the Cubs do. Coming into today, the Brewers not just out of the top 10 in overall ERA for the pitching staff. The Cubs all the way down 25th in the league in ERA. Now, it's not bad. They're still under 4. The Cardinals right behind them at 391. So I think you're looking at 2 different styles there as far as winning games are concerned. So they're both going to pose a threat. I think that there's a legitimate shot that all 3 of these teams are still fighting for the division as we get down the stretch. And Johnny Camp, who's on the other side of our board here, we were chatting in between during that commercial break. And yes, you look and you're 3.5 games out of the division. you're also just within a couple of games of having the best record in baseball. That's how close it is. And you heard so much about the West Division this year, and that nobody can get that wild card because it's going to be out of the West Division. If you look right now, the wild card teams are the Mets, the Brewers, and the Cardinals right at this minute. I get it. Plenty of baseball to play. But my point is that this team is in the mix, and it at least appears that it will be in the mix for the long haul. Sam is up next. He's given us a call. Sam, you're on the Extra Innings Show. Welcome to KMOX.
Yeah, thanks for taking my call. I was just thinking about what I've been seeing for the Cardinals. They got a good young team. They got a good nucleus with the hitting. It's pretty timely. Looks pretty good there. I think they need a trade for, if they can just hold on just a little longer, maybe another week or two, maybe they'll be, buyers, because it looks like, they're really putting a good nucleus on the field, and they're gelling real good. You know what I'm saying? If they can get a good another solid starter, and maybe, take it from there, maybe get another arm for the bullpen, somebody's a little more close to a setup guy kind of person. And, because you got catching solid. I mean, you got the best catching in baseball right now. That's what I'm saying. I mean, you can't, Pius, and, the guy, he kind of reminded me of Molina. Really, the guy is solid. He's a good hitter too. Gorman, you got all these, good solid hitters, and they just need that little touch, like getting another starting pitcher, and possibly get another good bullpen arm. Bullpen looks pretty decent, and I think that's all you really need. I think that's about as good as it's going to get for the Cardinals. I think that's about what they need. Maybe they might trade a couple second or third round draft choices, or maybe they have to, maybe a first round draft choice to get that good solid pitcher that you need. That's about all I'm thinking right now.
I appreciate it, Sam. No, I appreciate you giving us a call. And, I think that is kind of, it's best case scenario, right? That this team is at the point where we're thinking about being buyers at the deadline and adding to this club at the deadline. So Sam raises some really nice points. Sarah is up next. Sarah, you're on the Extra Innings Show. Welcome to KMOX.
Yeah, thanks for having me. So my question is around stadium and getting fans in the seats. I, along with the rest of the city, excited that we are outperforming what we thought. What's it going to take to get the city to get behind the Cardinals again and actually go to games and fill the seats? Or are we still trying to stick it to Mazilic? I'm just wondering what is that point that's going to push us over the edge?
Yeah, two good questions, two good thoughts there, Sarah. I appreciate you giving us a call. So I do think there is that section of fans. There is that part of Cardinal Nation that says, hey, we're going to show John Mozeliak, and we're not going to go to games. Doesn't matter. I think on the other side, I think that you're seeing a little bit of a ripple effect from 23, from 24. And I feel like it is, okay, it's been a couple of years. It's not very good. And it's sort of like that fan is just catching up. And hopefully now they'll catch up to what this team has put on the field, because I've said it. I know Matt Pauley has said it. I know Tom Ackerman has said it on this station, that this is, and it's not just a good team. It is an entertaining team. It is a fun team. It is all of those things that we talk about as Cardinal fans and as baseball fans that we are looking for in a team, and that is exciting players, quality baseball, fundamental baseball, good decisions, all of those things. And now you have all that, and now you have a contending team. And so I really, really hope, Sarah, like you said, that this city is going to catch up and that they're going to realize what they've got at Busch Stadium and get behind this team, because it is a lot of fun. It has, I said from the beginning of the year that no matter, I didn't know what the record was going to be. I did know, I could tell that this was going to be at the very least an entertaining team, and a team that I think that I was going to enjoy and that fans were going to enjoy going to the ballpark to see. So I appreciate the call, Sarah, and I think good points, and I hope you're right. I hope that this team or that this city, catches up, and that folks realize they've got a great team at Busch Stadium, and that part of what makes those games the experience they are is a full Busch Stadium, and it's a lot of fun when it's full and it's loud. I appreciate your call. I appreciate all the interaction we've had today. Lots of calls. This was as good of a day on the Extra Innings show that I've had in a while. I know the weekends are a little slower, but it was great to hear from so many folks. Great to get so many comments on our stream and everything that we got here today. So I appreciate that. Want to let you know what's on deck. It's sponsored by Chesterfield Fence and Deck. The sign you have the very best, chesterfieldfence.com. 3-game series coming up with the Pittsburgh Pirates. It starts tomorrow night. It's a 5:40 Central Time. First pitch. That means 4:45 for our pregame show. Eric Fetty will make the start for the Redbirds. He's 3-7 with a 4.1 ERA. He's up against the left-hander Andrew Haney. He is also 3-7. He's got an ERA of 4.5 as this series gets started. I do think the Pittsburgh Pirates are playing better baseball, but I still think the Cardinals are going in there with the mindset of winning a series. And frankly, they should be anyway. Doesn't matter who it is. But I think that you go into that series with the mindset of you're going to win the series. And I think that's obviously the approach they took in Cleveland. I think that's the approach they'll take. And frankly, I'd be disappointed if they don't come out of there winning that series. And then when you look at it, a 5-1, 5-1 start to that road trip, getting ready to go to Chicago, you'd be 10 games over the 500 mark. And man, we talk about wanting a contending team and a fun team and all that, and I don't know what more you'd want than a team that's 10 over 500, pushing for first place, playing the first place team, your biggest rival, 4th of July weekend. See, I'm looking ahead. But the Pirates are coming up next. That is the 3-game series starting tomorrow night. Big thanks to John Rooney, the voice of the Cardinals, to Rick Horton, to Mike Claiborne, and to Ryan Schulte. They're in Cleveland for us all weekend. John Camp's been behind the board, keeping us online and in line on time. One of those things all weekend long, and I appreciate that. I'm Joe Pott. Hope you'll keep it right here on your home of the Cardinals, 104.1 FM, KMOX.
This is Tom Ackerman, like an MVP candidate, Chesterfield Fence and Deck, one of